guys, welcome back to Amazing RC. Well, it's TRX-4 time, and as you can see, we're talking 1981 Ford Bronco. Now, got a bit of, well, bad news. This video series for the TRX-4 Ford Bronco build actually started out as a how-to series. This was because I actually had a couple people write me in my comments list and ask me to do a how-to painting video. So I chose a basic paint scheme and we went from there. Now everything was perfectly fine up until I needed to make this video. Now we had all of our painting footage ready to rock and roll on how I did this exact paint scheme. The problem was somehow between my painting footage and YouTube, my how-to footage got corrupted. So I can't paint this a second time. So we're going to run through just a few things because there are a couple of you that are actually following this specifically for how-to painting advice. So with that said, we left off last actually taping this vehicle up. So when you get into actually painting, there's just a couple rules that you want to kind of try to follow. If you have a very dark color, let's say you're doing black and white, do whatever you can to paint your black first, because anytime you overlap a lighter color with a darker one, sometimes when you have light coming through your windows, you can actually see the darker color behind your lighter color. So if you're sloppy with your painting, which you're allowed to be if it's painting from the other side, you're going to actually see the shadow to that behind. So one of your rules, definitely paint your darker colors first. If you have colors that are close like this, it really doesn't have that much of an effect until you really get in the bright sun. So with that said, try your hardest to paint your darker colors first. When you're painting, make sure you paint a very light coat first to try to trap in your seams to all of your tape. Once you get that light coat down, if you don't have a hair dryer like you're watching me use, go get one. They're about $10 or $12. You can get the cheapest one. Make sure that you can take the heat out of it as far as a setting. Sometimes like the one I have has a little button on it. Make sure you have a hair dryer because it'll actually save you a lot of time and a lot of frustration in between your coats. I'll spray a light coat and you'll see me in my other painting videos, you'll see me use a hair dryer. I'll dry it. Never use the heat, only use the non-heat portion of the hair dryer. And actually dry things up takes about a minute. Go ahead and spray another coat. Takes about a minute to dry it. Spray another coat. Usually in most of your paints that you use, I usually use Testors paints. You'll actually see me using a bottle of Krylon sometimes, and that'll be for my white on the inside. I'll just go ahead and trap everything, which I'll show you in a second. Spray 3 to 5 coats. If you're not covering in 5 coats, something may be wrong with your paint. Some of your transparent, some of your pearls, they're always going to be transparent. So if you see me do some type of pearl finish, which you'll see me with the RoboMax build, so if you're watching this as far as a how-to, definitely check out my RoboMax build. When I paint that, we're going to run into a lot of clears, transparents, and pearls. That's going to be a pretty extravagant paint job. Now, with this, I actually had a really good Testors paint for this almond color, and it covered in 3 coats. So definitely keep things dry. You don't want to spray so much to where it's going to drip, because anything that you paint on the inside of this, you're going to transfer to the outside. But in our next video, which we'll get back into the how-to thing, I'm going to show you how to take care of blemishes or problems. I've got some pretty crafty methods to take care of, because you're never going to have a perfect paint job. Any paint job you've ever seen me do, there's going to be mistakes, but I'll show you how to hide things. Now, with your second coat, peel your tape. Once everything's dried up with your hair dryer, if you don't have a hair dryer and you got to wait 2-3 hours in between coats, just always take your time, because anything you rush when it comes to this, you're going to know when it comes to the end of your project. Now, when it comes to peeling tape, if you're using a quality paint, i.e. testers or something, you should be able to peel tape no problem. So go ahead and peel your tape for your second coat. You should be able to spray, if you're following the spray your darkest, first, you should be able just to spray after you peel your tape for your second coat. Now, what I did in here is I actually taped off, if you've seen the video before this, I taped off all of my copper color because it's pretty close to the almond anyway. So I went ahead and sprayed my almond. I made sure everything was dry. In the very same sitting, I came right upstairs and I peeled off all of my tape. I went right back down to the spray booth and sprayed my copper, came right back upstairs and peeled my windows. So one of the things that I like to do is once I get done spraying everything is I actually like to spray everything white when you're done. Now, if for some reason you got a bunch of dark colors, you can spray it black or silver. But I like to do this because it traps everything in. One of the things that we'll talk about in the next video is I went with a magnet system. Now, there are some companies that actually sell, I believe, magnet systems like this for your body posts. I went ahead and just ordered some rare earth magnets, and I went ahead and did it myself. I had a couple issues with these, so in the next video, it'll be one of the things that I go over. But I actually saw this white top on a 1982 Ford Bronco as we were driving down the street, and I had to do it. I thought it was the coolest thing. I think it came out really good. But anyway, so as far as painting, that's pretty much it. The painting part is actually 10 times easier than the actual prep part. Your paint job is worthless if you don't do prep correctly. You want to make sure you scrub everything down. Everything that you've seen in the previous videos, I swear by. So basically, that's going to be it on painting. Watch the RoboMax build. I'll try to do some how-to in that. I'm going to run some pictures of this after you listen to me be a bobblehead for 5 minutes, or gosh, well, probably 10 by now. But anyway, so that's pretty much what I got going on with the paint. I think it came out pretty good. As far as decals go, one of the things that I did was I actually have like just chrome vinyl, and I know a lot of vehicles back in the 80s, they had chrome stripping, so I did a chrome vinyl here. I actually did chrome vinyl for the bumpers just for fun. But one of the things I ran into with this is the Proline Body, and Proline is always fit top notch. Now, this can only go so far forward because of the way that the TRX-4 is built. So, I mean, you're not going to get this body to slide any far forward. I actually have it resting on this back bumper. With that said, there's not enough room in the front for crawling. I immediately rub into this. So one of the things I'm going to do is actually create a bumper out of metal. I have some bits of metal in here. And I'm going to shave this actual bumper out and bring it up. Because the TRX-4 bumper doesn't look all that great on here. Back in the back as well. So the back will be fine. It can stay the way it is. But I'm actually going to create a pretty cool little metal bumper. So that'll be in one of the videos that come up here real soon. But as far as the decals, now, if you remember in the beginning videos, I'm going to do some pretty wicked lights in here. But for now, I just went ahead for you guys, just threw some decals on there. I didn't do the taillight decals yet, but I'm going to. The decals actually aren't done yet. But as far as painting, that's pretty much the grand scheme of things. Like I was saying before, your paint job is only as good as your prep. That's the best advice I can give you. Watch the 2 videos before this and see all the crazy stuff that I go through just to prep this car. It actually takes me about a day and a half to 2 days to prep. It takes me about an hour and a half to paint. It doesn't matter what elaborate paint job I have. It doesn't take long at all. It's always downhill as soon as you hit the paint. So I'm going to finish up the decals on this, and then the next video we'll go ahead and start figuring out the bumper. We're going to figure out some scale things for this. I don't know if we're going to do a roof rack or not, but we've got some really cool Casey lights for the top here. I've got some Cobb LED lights for here. These aren't going to be regular RC lights. I'm going to run it on the 12-volt system inside because it's running 11.1. And then we're going to try to do, I'm going to find where these people have it, but there are light kits that you can get that when you turn right or left, your blinkers will turn on. When you hit the reverse, when you go backwards, your reverse lights will go on. When you hit the brakes, your brake lights will come on. So I'm going to look for those. There's a couple kits with some mixed results. So I'm going to find a good kit. Also, one of the things you don't notice is the black rubber seals on my windows. Here's the reason for that. I do them differently than everyone else. A lot of people will actually take their window stickers on the inside, and most people, and then what they'll do is before they're done, they will actually cut their window stickers out and they'll leave the centers and just pull the little lines and then they'll spray black. I don't do it that way for any one of my builds. I will actually go in and hand paint the rubber seals, and I do it with vinyl tape. I'll actually run 2 strips of vinyl tape, and this will be in the next video. I will do a how-to on that because I haven't done that yet, and I didn't corrupt and lose the footage. So I'm getting long-winded here, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming by and checking this out. If for some reason I didn't cover something because the video was corrupt, please let me know in the description below. I will answer your question, period. For some reason I don't, and it's been 2 days, write me a question again. Personal message me if you have to, because I try to do my best to answer every single question that I get. So let me know, guys, and I really appreciate it. And this is TRX-4 and Amazing RC, and I'm out.